It's Matty and Patty, coast to coast from Brooklyn. This is Pat McMenamin to San Francisco. It's Matt Youngner. Say hello, Matty.
Hey, Patty. How you doing, buddy?
It's brown season, so about as well as can be expected.
You sound down.
We'll get to that. Welcome to the Cleveland Sports Hour with Matty and Patty. We are two self-aware but unapologetic homers who spend far too much time watching, reading, and thinking about the Browns and the Cavs, and Trav too, but not right now. So if you like the informed, intelligent Cleveland fans' perspective, you've come to the right place. Matty, losers. That's what we are. I mean, yeah, you play a nice game, you hang tough with an undefeated team, but what are you at the end of the day?
I mean, we lost the game.
Yeah, losers. That's what we are.
All right, man. You're really in a dark place here.
Very dark place. I spend a good deal of my week complaining about the Browns and all the ways to disappoint me and make my life reduce the quality of my life. I mean,
was that the best possible result?
True. If I'm going to be a cynical Browns fan, I don't like being the cynical Browns fan. That says, oh, thank God we didn't hurt our draft standing. But that's sort of how I walk away from this game. So, that's just Beck is summing up how I feel right now. I'm a loser, baby.
I watched a good game. We were down, came back against an undefeated team. Defense showed a little something. Offense showed a little something against a really good defense. I don't know. I mean, we were outmatched, clearly, but we hung in there, fought.
Peyton Manning doesn't have an arm. He can't feel the fucking tips of his fingers.
Yeah, he tried to give that game away to us. I agree.
Three picks, including one return for a touchdown, including one in overtime, which gave us the ball on the 40-yard line.
50-yard line.
Whatever. No, I think we started. It was inside the 50. We were in Broncos territory.
Man,
when Barkevius Mingo made a contribution in this game.
He jumped so early on that pick. Did you catch that?
Oh man, it's so good. Yeah, he did the hang up there. I mean, what we should do with that? Who was it? Was it the? I think it was the Lions guy, or it was the Pats guy in the Sunday night game who literally leaped over the snapper on a field goal and blocked the field goal in the Sunday night football game. Like that's what you'd be doing with Mingo. Get a guy jumping over the line. Somebody athletic can do that shit.
Mingo's contributing, Pat. He's getting real good. I don't know.
Yes, these things happen, and we still lost.
Yeah, shit happens though, man.
You know what I've heard many times before. Hey, Browns have a bunch of sack of losers. Coaches getting them so they're playing hard, really hard, and they're playing a good game and hanging with a good team. What do they always do at the end of these games?
They won last week.
They lose, Matty. And what does that make us?
We won last week, though.
Losers, Matty.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, we beat a 1-5 team that just lost to the 49ers. Like, who gives a shit? I mean, look, yeah. I'm happy to have beaten the Ravens. They suck, and I gloated all over my few colleagues in the office who are Ravens fans. But come on, let's call it what it is. All right, so what we're gonna sulk about the Browns for a little bit, or Matt's gonna try and sell me on it, but. You know what? Look, you've heard this conversation too many times, our dear viewers, excuse me. So we're gonna bring in someone else to settle this in a little bit. We have a special guest for you guys very early on. He'll be coming up in a moment, and then followed by that, though, once we say goodbye to our special guest, we're gonna talk about some Cavs stuff. Although actually, if he wants to, he can stick around. We'll ask him, see what he wants to do, see how much time he has on his hands. And we're not gonna get too deep into the Cavs. Like we have a big Cavs preview coming up next week. Just before the first game of the season begins, so we'll just stick to the latest in the news for Cavs stuff. Matty, I have an opening question for you about the Browns. Big question I need to ask every week. Did Dwayne Bowe start?
I thought he had 75 yards receiving and a touchdown. Did I get that wrong?
Hold on, I'm looking at my numbers. No, you're wrong.
Oh, healthy scratch.
Healthy scratch. It's a healthy scratch. Apparently Mike Pettin didn't get that text from Ray. So, Matty, next question. There's a couple nice time management moments and a curious call to go for 2, which probably cost us the game. You still back this coaching staff?
Yeah, going for 2 definitely cost us the game. We can get into that maybe with our guest later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm still with the staff, man. They went up against one of the best in the NFL. Almost came out on top.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm with them.
Okay.
They didn't do anything to get fired this week.
Mm-hmm. I don't want them to fire right now. We've been through this before, but I think they are on the wrong side of do they get fired at the end of the year.
But you're ready to execute at the end of the season.
Yeah, they got to show something, and they aren't showing it right now. To begin with, by not just basic common sense clock management. Fuck, man. Why would you want to have extra time?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this last week, though. There's a lot of coaches that struggle with that. I feel like you can bring somebody in to help with that.
It just seems like basic incompetence to me. All right, Matty, are we ready for our mediator?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Without further ado, we have a very special guest to introduce you to. We have 3 coasts tonight. Coast to coast to coast, from the East Coast to the West Coast to the North Coast. Uncle Granty is joining us from Cleveland, Ohio, from the land.
Ooh.
Uncle Granty, say hello. Shalom. If only it was Friday, I could say Shomer Shabbos, but Shalom will have to do. Uncle Granty, welcome to the Matty and Patty podcast in a live setting.
Finally get a real Jew on this podcast, not a couple pretenders like you guys.
Yeah, okay. That's a pretty good burn.
You need a red-haired Irishman to take care of that.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. So thank you. You have been in the belly of the beast. You've been reporting from the field. Just before we start any further, you've been listening to the 2 of us bicker like a bunch of girls. Who's right here?
Well, both of you guys are wrong about last week's game.
Okay.
All right. You said that the Ravens, gave that one up for us. That's not true. Browns won that game.
That's what I told you, Pat.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Come on. The Ravens didn't do anything to lose that game.
No, I mean that was a pretty clean football game. I don't think there were any turnovers in the game. Back and forth. That was a pretty good game.
Just the running. We couldn't stop the run, and they just stopped running the ball at a really convenient time.
Just one play, their running back got hurt.
Yeah, that was later.
That's one of the sort of fundamental problems I've seen with this Browns team. Going forwards. One of the issues is they run this 3-4 defense, and anytime the opposing team runs that stretch play to the outside, the weak side inside backer's getting caught up in the wash. And the reason that's happening is the nose tackle isn't occupying 2 people on the line of scrimmage. So I don't know if that's Sheldon when he's in or...
you think it have to be, right? Isn't that his job to hold up 2 guys in the line?
Well, that's the other problem with this defense, all right? So it's also way too complicated. There's crazy substitution packages. I haven't really seen the Browns up close except for that game in Baltimore. And I was sitting in the end zone, so I had a really good vantage point. And I remember the Ravens were down on the Browns' 3-yard line. And every single play, the Browns ran in a different substitution group on defense. Defensive linemen substituted out every single play, and the Ravens weren't substituting anybody in on offense. So I think Jim O'Neill's got to calm down a little bit. I think he's probably overthinking, and it's getting the defense out of rhythm.
Well, that would be nice. So why does he keep doing it? When's he going to adjust? What the hell?
I don't know. I mean, I think he feels that he's smarter than everybody else, and Patton probably thinks that he's a pretty smart guy, and that's why he hired him on. But they're just not playing football out there. I don't know who the leader of this team is, and there's definitely not a leader on defense.
Isn't that what Dansby and Whitner was supposed to be?
Yeah, I mean, that's what they brought him in there for. I mean, we gave up a lot of potential. We got rid of Ward. we got rid of DeQuell Jackson. I mean, Ward clearly outplayed Whitner in this last game, I think.
Big time. Big time.
But Whitner, I mean, he's got, because they're not, I just took a look real quickly. Whitner is leading the team in tackles right now. That's a real problem.
Yeah.
You got to have a couple man-eaters in the inside linebacker position. I mean, DeQuell Jackson, you can knock him, but the guy made tackles.
Tackling machine.
Absolutely. And Dansby's second, but, if you don't get better play from that inside linebacker group, especially that weak side inside backer, they're going to rip that stretch play every single time. And that starts with whoever's playing on the nose. They got to occupy two blockers. Is that enough X's and O's for you boys?
One question, Grant. Terry Pluto's always talking about how they moved Kruger over to the strong side from the weak side linebacker where he was last year after Solomon got hurt, and that's messing with his play. He's been,
terrible.
Don't see him at all except on police dash cam videos.
Yep.
Does that ring true to you?
Kruger is non-existent this year, and dropping him in the coverage is absolutely terrible. But when you watch him rush the passer, he's just sort of dancing around. He doesn't have any good technique when he's getting the quarterback. He's getting no pressure, and against the run, he's just a joke. He's trying, but it's just not good enough.
Yeah.
And a great example of how this leads to catastrophic failure on the defense was that 75-yard touchdown play that Payton threw to get the lead. I mean, that was a heartbreaker in this game, too.
Big time.
So what happened on that play, and I haven't seen the coach's film or anything like that, but Poyer has got to make that tackle. But because he's trying to jump up to support the run, he just took an absolutely terrible angle.
Right. And
instead of a 25-yard gain, it's a 75-yard touchdown, which is inexcusable. But that happens because the front seven, they're just not gelling, so Poyer feels like he needs to jump up and make a play.
I mean, also, that shouldn't be Poyer, too, right? I mean, is that an issue? Right? That should be Gibson.
Well, I don't know. But I know that the safeties are, leading this team in tackles. Yeah. So you got Dansby and Whitner are up there, Kirksey, Tremont Williams, Deshaun Gibson, Pierre Desir, Joe Hayden. Those are your top your top tacklers on the team. That's too many plays at the second level.
Mm-hmm.
Way too many.
And but that's the thing. What happened? Like, what's different about this defense? We lost Sheard.
That's a big loss.
Is that it? Then why are we fucking let him go?
Buster Screen. That's who we really miss. I'm just kidding. Sorry.
I mean, we talked about this last year. I feel like we talked about this last year, like we were doing a podcast last year. We talked about it on our email list. Like I felt like Shear was going to be a big loss, but especially since he's going to the Patriots, you knew just from basic Cleveland logic that he was going to be great wherever he went. He's leading the Patriots in sacks right now, I think. Why didn't we keep him? What the fuck?
And he didn't get signed for that much money. I think it was like a $12 million contract or something, which is really affordable.
What are we paying Paul Kruger? Wouldn't you rather have Sheard?
Kruger's getting something like $6 million a year.
Jesus.
Yeah, he signed a big deal.
Yeah, at least we got that premier number one wide receiver in Dwayne Bowe, though.
Yeah, we talked about what we could have done with that Bowe money. That's something right there.
So, yeah, Grant, getting back to what I was hammering Matt about, you think this coaching staff deserves to – look, we don't know how the rest of the season is going to go, but as it stands now, do you think over-under on whether this coaching staff deserves to stick around another year? Leaving aside how bad Farmer is, that's another issue.
It's hard to say. I mean, it's incomplete. I want to see him compete against division opponents. I was pretty happy to see him beat Baltimore.
Yeah.
Flip. I mean, the offense is outperforming all of my expectations. They're doing it differently than what they said they were going to do, but I like what I see from the offense.
Which is a crazy 180. Like, I mean, I was ripping on Flip a couple weeks ago because and the play calling still is a little bizarre and weird with some of the Also, it's just McCown. I do not want to see McCown throw a swing pass out to a guy who's about to be crushed by a defensive back. I've seen that too many fucking times, and it's so dangerous, and it's just stupid. But also, I keep seeing call these things and keep getting out. It seems like the defense knows what we're doing a lot of the time. But then all of a sudden, we go on these two stretches where McCown's lighting it up. So I give credit where it's due. I keep being surprised by the offense. Put it that way. But yeah, the defense is just a tire fire, and all we lost was Sheard, really, right? Right? I mean, we lost Sheard, but we gained supposedly Danny Shelton.
Yeah, but we had two All-Pros in the secondary who are not living
True.
up to expectations.
I mean, Hayden hasn't played like Joe Hayden yet this year, really.
No.
He hasn't.
And Gibson hasn't either, even when he was healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And poor Tashawn's in a contract year.
Yeah.
That's not good for him.
It's going to cost him.
Mm. Oh, hey, Matty, speaking of Dwayne Bowe, did the other cornerback start? What's his name again? Gilbert? Dan Gilbert? What's his name?
Justin.
Justin Gilbert. That's right, Justin Gilbert.
Doing damage on special teams.
Yeah, but we don't have. We're down to our Joe Hayden's hurt. Any playing time secondary?
Special teams is real underrated, Pat. It's worth getting good players there.
It's first round territory. That's what I'm saying.
You trade up to get good special teams. That's what smart teams do.
Hey, the Raiders drafted a kicker in the first round.
That's right. No, he was not surprisingly, but I didn't. Did he get one snap?
Nope.
On defense?
Nope.
Mm.
That's just fucking embarrassing. I don't know what it is with that kid. I mean, he's got all the physical tools, but I mean, he just doesn't know how to compete, or he doesn't have any confidence anymore. He needs to get a change of scenery. I mean, you can't do anything. You can't move him. But
you think we cut him after the year?
Nah, and what do you get by cutting him? He's still playing out that rookie contract. I mean, you got to find some way to use him. So special teams, you might as well use him.
Just try to extract whatever value we can out of him.
Yeah,
that's just terrible. I mean, Mingo's at least a little useful, but that's. I mean, how many draft picks? It's like, what? Think about how many snaps did all of our first round draft picks, all 4 of our first round draft picks from the last 3 years. Oh wait, how many? Five of first round draft picks, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many snaps?
I don't know. Whatever Shelton played.
Yeah, it's basically Shelton and a little bit of Mingo. That's it.
Grant, should I be worried that Cameron Irving can't find time on this line?
I mean, the line is pretty good. You want your first-round pick, obviously, to get in there. And we're going to see him this year. Don't worry. Someone's going to get injured. He's going to get in there. And that's going to be nice to have that depth, because last year that's when the season fell apart. But, no, I'm not particularly worried about it. You know what? Here's why you should be worried about it, and this goes to Ray Farmer more than anybody else. All right, we had to waste a first-round pick picking up a background center because we know we're going to lose Alex Mack next year because they totally botched his contract.
Mm.
They let him go and
walk.
I mean, they should have signed him for what he was worth. If they wanted to sign him, they should have signed him, or else they should have let him walk.
I guess they could have not franchise tagged him, but whatever the next one. I can't remember what the other category is. Right, they could have done that with him, right?
They did use some sort of tag with him.
What was it? It was this tag where we could match, but
I don't remember. But I mean,
that's a pick or something like that. It was something weird. It was a weird designation that is rarely used. I didn't understand the difference there. It saves a little bit of money, but we're terrible still. I don't think the cap matters that much. We should have signed him. I mean, just pay the man.
This is blasphemous coming from a former offensive lineman, albeit a shitty one. You can find centers, That's not a problem. I can't. The last time you take a center in the first round, Jeff Fain.
Yep.
We've taken 2 centers in the first round. What the hell?
You can find them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we can't find them, but other teams find them.
Yeah.
Other teams seem to be able to find all sorts of stuff. Develop talent.
Mm-hmm.
We don't do
that.
I mean, a little.
It's not our thing, Matty. It's not our thing.
I don't know. I mean, Gibson's somebody we found, right? That was a scrap heap pickup.
That's true.
He's an undrafted free agent.
Kwan Williams a little bit.
Yeah.
Even like someone like Pierre Desir in the 4th round. I mean, he looks like a pretty good cornerback.
Yeah, he does. He does. He's got a lot of talent.
And then the Crow. So fucking Crow. He was undrafted.
That's true. But speaking of the running game, Grant, you said we have a good offensive line. We all thought we had a good offensive line. That was supposed to be one part of our game that was going to be reliable. It's why I spent $13 on Crow in the draft. No, but what's your explanation for why the running game really still isn't going? Is it just how no one respects our passing game? What's going on?
No, I think it's going to open up. I think people are probably pretty surprised about how well we've been able to move the ball in the air. And instead of dropping 8 in the box, they're gonna have to loosen up. I think big play Gary Barnidge is going to get a little bit more attention, which should open up some of the running lanes as well.
There's another guy, Gary Barnidge. Who the fuck is that guy?
He's been in the league a while.
Has he?
Yeah, he was in Carolina for a long time. I think it was like his 7th year in the league.
That's wild.
He doesn't have that Jordan Cameron pretty boy face though, so
yeah.
He wasn't going to crack the line.
He's got those dimples, Grant.
Granty, what'd you think of Turbin?
Turbo.
I mean, he looked okay. I mean, but he looks like I've seen him. You know, I saw him in Seattle.
Yeah.
I don't get this, and I'm not just saying this because I have Crow on my fantasy team. Why are we giving the ball so much? Wouldn't you rather get? Look, Crow has some spectacular ability if he can get out in the open and break something. Wouldn't you just try to increase the chances that he gets that, or give it to Duke? Like, I'm happy with splitting the carries between Duke and Crow. I don't understand
you, Patty.
3 ways. Yeah, no, I know. I'm fucked with him.
Crow is not long for this world. I mean, obviously, the Browns coaches. I mean, you can say this for them. Whether or not you believe they're making the right calls, they're going to put the people that they think who are playing the best on the field.
Yep.
And they don't, for some reason, they don't like Crow, and that's why they brought in Turbin. He occupied a roster spot for like 5 weeks without, being able to play at all.
Yeah.
So they know that they need to make some sort of improvement. They don't like Crow. They like Duke Johnson a lot, but he's made of paper. So
yeah, exactly.
I think Turbin, you're going to probably see more of him going forward.
It's probably true.
Sorry, Patty.
Well, but my problem is, yeah.
$15 down the drain.
Yep.
But I want to give up on the Browns' running game. They started to get it going a little bit in this game, and that defense is legit. I mean, Denver's defense is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought they moved the ball on the ground.
That was the biggest impressive part, man. I early in the game, or the first half, we were shut out in the first half, right?
No, we had a field goal.
Did we get a field goal at the end? I don't know that we did. Anyway, I was thinking to myself, I was like, I think we might get shut out. We really might get shut out, or maybe a couple field goals. That's it. Like, I don't really see us scoring a touchdown against this defense. And then I came out like, just blaring out of that first half, not the second half, excuse me. That was impressive. So, all right, Matty, you got a ray of sunshine out of me.
Oh, look at that.
A ray of sunshine.
I think there's just sort of like this feeling with Cleveland fans, especially Browns fans, where they, if it's not perfect, they just can't get behind it. But all these teams are flawed. All the good teams are flawed. I mean, look at Denver. I mean, they're undefeated, but they are definitely not a perfect team. But they're going to be there. They're going to be in the playoffs.
For sure.
Look at Cincinnati. They're undefeated, but they're flawed. We'll come crashing back down.
Well, of course, that's my point. It's not perfect is not the problem with the Browns. Like they're not perfect. This is. I'm happy that we have an offense that can sometimes do good things. It has been doing good things more often than not. That's true so far this year. But they look so terrible so much of the time, and their defense almost always looks awful. It's hard to be excited about this team. Even from my low expectations. Look, I'm in a dark place. I couldn't have lower expectations. Like any ray of sunshine I have is based upon how low my expectations are.
Patty, we've been in every game this year except one, and that one we had terrible luck.
God, that sounds like every fucking year we've had in the last 6 years. We're in a lot of games, hanging tight, and we lose close in the end. Like
what do you want? A Super Bowl, Pat?
I'd like a winning fucking team. A team that can win some fucking close games instead of just losing close at the end.
No, that's not what we have.
We are really good at losing close games. I will give you that. That's one thing the Browns are really good at.
The best.
The best. Great. All right. I want to turn your attention to something else that's been on a lot of Cleveland sports talks' minds. The Johnny drama.
All right.
So yeah, anyone has been following, Johnny Manziel is pulled over the week before the game for driving erratically. His girlfriend's going crazy, accusing him of hitting her, punching her. He admits to having a few drinks. He's supposed to be recovering from rehab. His girlfriend is blotto, like blackout drunk crazy. And eventually the cops decide that he didn't actually hit her. What he did was restrain her from trying to get out of a moving car.
Sure.
Going 30, 40, 50 miles an hour on a highway. But it gets crazier because this whole thing's happening on the side of a highway for everyone to see. And, of course, there's dashboard cam. And, of course, Paul Kruger shows up. And it gets caught on tape of, like, he doesn't have to be here. That's what one of his girlfriend says.
Why is he here?
Why is Paul Kruger here? He does not have to be here. And my favorite part from the dashboard cam, which you can watch on YouTube, look it up. It's out there. My favorite part is Paul Kruger just having a man-to-man with a cop on the side of the road, saying, "Hey, man, she's not the right one he should be with. I'll tell you that much." Grant, I don't want to. I'm not going to go into you for your football expertise as a terrible offensive lineman in high school football.
And defensive lineman.
Defensive line, excuse me. I want to go into you for your legal advice. We've all had a little bit of experience, some in this conversation more than others, with speaking to the police. What's your analysis of the situation? How Manziel handled it? How Paul Kruger handled it? This is the take I want.
Well, this doesn't fall into football or legal. This is about dealing with drunks and crazy chicks. All right, and I can talk to you about those two topics too. All right, he's with a train wreck right now. We've all seen them. All right, they're fun to hang around with.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe the date for a while, but they're going to get you into some trouble. And this one is a total train wreck.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she was trying to jump out of a car when it was going 80 miles an hour, threw his wallet out of the car.
Yeah, that's unacceptable.
This is crazy.
I'd be so mad.
I mean, she's pretty good looking, but come on, man. You know, you're Johnny Manziel. You're a quarterback. You could go down to Texas and do whatever you want. I mean, what are you doing? And all right, and he's also a drunk. All right, drunks hang out with drunks.
Mm-hmm.
The whole rehab thing. He's got a great PR team. He knows what to say. He knows what to do. You know, my guess is I'm still waiting for the other shoe to drop. You know, he's probably in the league substance abuse policy, and he's probably going to catch a suspension for something like this, and he's going to have to go back to rehab, and he's going to do this big mea culpa. But it's just he likes to drink beers and nail crazy chicks, and I mean you can't really fault a guy for that, right?
I can't. I thought that's what football players are supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a crazy world we live in now. The nerds have taken over. It's a golden age for nerds. All right. Normally, bullying is like being a racist now. All right. A good bully is going to help you out. You got to get some bullying in. The quarterback can basically get drunk, nail whoever he wants to nail, and at least this part of the world hasn't changed. You know, if a cop pulls you over and you say you had a couple of drinks, if it was any of the three of us, we're definitely getting a breathalyzer and probably getting put in cuffs, taken to jail. This guy, like, oh man, I've been there. Can you sign a couple footballs? I mean, at least that part of the world hasn't changed.
That's true.
That is true.
Joe Namath lived his whole life like this, for God's sake. He's a national treasure.
Broadway Joe.
It's a lost world, gentlemen. This world does not exist anymore. It's a golden era of unaccountability.
So, Grant, do you think is there anything for the Browns to do here?
Should they release him?
No, I mean.
Hey, Grant. I mean, Mary Kay Cabot boldly said the Browns need to send him back to rehab because she's an expert in these things.
Or people could just let adults be adults.
Hey, more importantly, Grant, Bill Cowher said the Browns need to cut him.
Fuck Bill Cowher.
Hey, no, Grant, Bill Cowher should know, because that's what he did with his QB when he raped someone twice.
Yeah, right. What a joke.
Yeah, asshole. Shut the fuck up.
Like, he hasn't ever been pulled over the side of the road and gotten away with it.
Should I try and play some of this? The dashboard game. You can hear some of it. Should I try? Let's see how it sounds.
He wanted to pick up a buddy. Sidwell with her.
We got into a little bit of, hey, you want to hang out with him so you can go see some other girls, this and this. This is between her saying this and me. You want to go see some other girls, that's why you want to hang out with him, blah, 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 blah.
Probably minutes earlier relayed her version of events.
Pause it right there.
What's that?
Pause it right there.
Go.
Did you hear it when he said, wanted to hang out with somebody, blah, blah, blah?
Blah, blah, blah.
I guarantee you the cop is just nodding his head because he knows exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And he's like, been there before, bro. We're going to send you on your way. I just got to write a couple things down.
That's some crazy chick.
Yeah. Bet you she's a Hellcat in the sack. Some of that bullshit.
Mm-hmm. All right. That's it.
What happened today? You guys are obviously in this car.
He's like, I don't know, he hit me a couple times.
While you were in the car?
Yeah.
Mm.
Please don't please don't.
The police report noted the
Please don't file charges. I just want. I don't know.
only visible injuries to
Do you think he hit her, Pat?
wounded were left.
This is tough. Part of me thinks he did because of the way she was saying, how casually she said that. She wasn't emotional or animated about, like, he hit me. It was, he hit me a couple of times. Oh shit, don't charge. I don't want to get this into a crazy thing. So it makes me think maybe he did. I don't know. It's hard to say. You can't tell with this stuff. I don't want to,
I mean, she was pretty. They looked for marks of that, and they didn't
yeah,
see anything.
I don't see a lot.
Exactly.
And if that's part of the story is true, that she tried to jump out of the car while it was driving, I think the cops are probably right there, but it's tough to say. Just seeing the pictures right now, you can't see my YouTube, but there's a picture of her showing her abrasion on her arm. Everything, she's otherwise perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Now, I don't support violence against women, obviously. All right?
Well,
but if I'm driving down the freeway and someone throws my wallet out of the car, I'm not gonna hit anyone, obviously. But I would think about it. I mean, I'd be awfully angry.
Mm-hmm.
And for a young man that can't control his actions, who knows? Who knows what happened in that car?
Grant, it was an excellent Stephen A. setup, by the way.
Do you think he got his wallet back?
He was walking along the road. I think.
Oh, jeez.
That's why he pulled over.
All right, so the better part's coming up here. Listen to
With Manziel's story that he grabbed her to keep her from trying to jump out of the car, which prompted a 911 call from a passerby to police. Listen as Manziel pleads in the background.
Oh, baby, please!
You think?
At one point,
just let me go home. I'm sober, please. I mean, that's where I think to myself, like, I can't tell if it's just your story, Grant. The dude's just a drunk and he's getting caught, or this is just he's getting caught with the crazy. Like, that's just fucking him. But no, I tend to side more with Grant's story.
It's both. I mean, it's both for sure.
Yeah. Like, it wasn't so bad what he did. Like, it wasn't so bad, what Josh Gordon did. But actually, what Josh Gordon did was way more innocuous, having a drink on the flight home after the season was over.
All right, let's talk about something real quick here. They should get rid of testing for any social drugs.
Absolutely. It's ridiculous. It's a joke. It's like, what is it, the fucking Victorian era we're playing football in? It's ridiculous.
You want to hear me sound like Stephen A. Smith?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. There's one league that doesn't test for social drugs. What league is it? Major sport.
Equestrian sports?
Baseball?
Oh, it's not baseball. They test.
Hockey they test,
in
right?
football, and they test in basketball.
Not hockey?
The NHL.
Really?
They don't test for recreational drugs. Now, what's the difference between the athletes in the NHL and the athletes in the other 3 sports?
Canadian.
Yeah,
they don't have
that's
teeth.
it.
They don't have teeth, also.
I think the only reason they test for recreational drugs in the NFL, especially in the NBA and baseball to some extent, is they're so worried about their players having a certain image that it's going to make people not want to tune into the sport. But the NHL doesn't care because people don't have that image. How's that for Stephen A?
That's interesting. Because if that's true, it backfires, I think, because you end up hearing about it way more than you just let people do their own thing.
That's true. I think that's very true.
A good point.
A very good point. All right, let's finish up. The best part's coming up in the dash cam.
At one point, Browns linebacker Paul Kruger just happened by, which upset Crowley.
No, it's not fair. He needs to go.
He would leave, but not before offering police his opinion of Manziel's girlfriend.
Not the right one to be with, I'll tell you that much.
You guys go watch this video. He's just like leaning against the back of his car, talking to the cop, just shooting the shit. It's too much.
I want to know what her interaction with Kruger has been.
Yeah.
That she had that.
They're like next door neighbors.
Yeah, I saw that they were in the same whatever.
Complex. Yeah, the weird thing is like this is not a big road. This is a very small road that they were on. They got pulled over. I was picturing a highway when I read the reports. This is like a 2-lane road.
Yeah, it's not a highway.
And it's just it's crazy. Apparently, because Paul Kruger actually married a Cleveland girl, I think. After joining the Browns, he met someone and married him or something like that. It's funny. I think it's actually a friend of a family friend or something like that. I just found out recently.
Well, if he wants to stick around, he better get some sacks.
Jesus Christ.
Right now, he isn't doing shit for us.
Nope.
Less rice, more sacks.
Yeah,
that's right.
I think somebody pointed out maybe the Cardiac Kid on Twitter. It's the closest that Paul Kruger's gotten to a quarterback all year.
Hey-o.
Hey-o. It's just, to me, like everyone was talking about how Manziel needed to. Your brother Matty was talking about how Manziel needed to be cut immediately.
Yeah, my brother wants him gone.
And what's the point? Same with Gilbert. Same with Gilbert. Like the money's spent, it's there. Honestly, it's frankly from my cynical Browns fan standpoint, it's probably to the better if he's a distraction to the team because better draft position, all that shit. I get the feeling that the Browns locker room is not upset with Johnny Manziel about this. Grant, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. I think he's probably, from every story I ever read, he's pretty well liked amongst the players in the locker room. I mean, they thought he had to grow up, but they seem to think that he's improving and at least acting like a professional. Now, I don't think he's a legitimate starting quarterback in the NFL, and I don't think he's going to develop into one.
Mm-hmm.
But certainly, cutting him here is just sort of going to look like the coach or the GM is getting bullied by the media.
Yeah.
And they don't have the players' interest. If you want to create trust in that locker room, you're probably going to do a better thing by backing him up.
Yeah, I agree. I think Pettin has done that, at least in the press reports today. Like, the press gave him a hard time about that. I wish the press would give him a harder fucking time about his timeouts.
Did anybody ask him that question, Pat?
I don't think so. Someone actually, the halftime reporter asked him about it on his way out. He just said, "I've been doing the Broncos a favor." It's like 4th down, really? 4th and 2? Seriously, you give them a timeout so they can call a play. They had 30 seconds to call a play. Your timeout's not gonna give them any more time. It'll give you more time to actually, score. Can't get over this.
Let's ask Grant. Going for 2 there.
Yeah.
Any justification for it?
Look, I mean, I understand why you would go for 2 there. My major problem was that they didn't have a good play. If you're going to go for 2, you got to have something set up. I don't know what the hell they did. They just sort of threw it up. Usually people have, you practice your 2-point conversion play a lot, and you have something ready to go.
Yeah.
I would have definitely taken the extra point. And I'm not just saying that after the fact. I was screaming at the TV in the bar, kick the extra point.
Yeah. Well,
it seems like a good rule of thumb that unless you know you need those 2 points,
yeah.
just take the point.
Don't give up points.
You know, a million things can happen. You don't know what it's going to be unless you're coming down and need to tie up the score with it, or it's going to put you up by 3 late in the game. One of those situations, it seems like you just want the point.
Like if you're in the fourth quarter and you're up by 1, right? I can see why you'd say, "Oh, go for 2." You know, you don't want to be up by 2, but being up by 2 is no different from being up by 1. You want to be up by 3, right? But that's late in the game. You don't do that in the second quarter. You don't do it in the third quarter, which is when this was the third quarter when this happened, right?
Well, that was fourth quarter. But there was like 7 minutes left.
Was it really?
8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Yeah.
Damn. Still, it was 5 points. It was a weird thing. It was the difference between 5 and 6, right? Even 6, you're not protected against a touchdown. It's like 2 field goals.
You're having trouble scoring all day. Put the points up on the board when you put the points up.
Exactly. I mean, Pettin, like, what I like about Pettin is that I've always liked about him is that he's very aggressive. I've never seen a Browns coach go for it and fourth down more than him. Right? Would you agree with that, guys? And I like
that call early too. That was the right call.
I like that about him, right? But it's funny. Occasionally, I see him going for it when he should be taking field goals. And lately, I've seen him start to like swallow his pride a little bit, swallow it down, and say, you know what, just take the points. And maybe he's growing, and so if I'm going to come around to my position here, which currently is he needs to be fired at the end of the year, if I'm going to come around to this, I need to see more growth like that of someone who can change. And like I like Pettin, I really want him to succeed. I can't justify it with the kind of boneheaded decisions he's been making lately.
I don't think he's going to get fired unless there's a complete collapse. Jim O'Neill might get fired, but I think Pettin's probably going to be sticking around.
Interesting. And there's the attitude of you need to show you can invest in a coach for 3 years before to be able to attract anyone else who's worth a salt, right? Like if you fire a coach every 2 years, no one's going to want to play for you.
For sure.
Yeah. So it's one of the things where we kind of made our bed and have to lie in it now.
Who the hell else would come in and coach this team and be better?
No one. Oh, would be better? I mean, I don't think anyone's going to come in and coach this team. but there's plenty of guys who could coach the team better, I feel like, and that's the problem. But
that would take the job?
Yeah, no, that's the crux. That's the rub, if you will.
You got to be able to hire him.
Grant, before we move on from the Browns, one thing I was hoping for last week when you gave us your wonderful special report was more from this a shady Auntie Elise character. We only heard a sinister, high-pitched, hi guys input from her. Anything to report from her behavior at this game that would be of interest to our listeners?
She makes somebody cry?
She's not going to shame herself by appearing on this podcast ever again. She's too good for this bullshit.
Well, right. That's why we have you here, Grant.
That's right.
You're the poor man's Elise. So please.
She was very intimidated going to the game because she thought we're going to be the only Browns fans there, and there weren't a lot of Browns fans. I'd say probably under 1,000 of the 80,000 that were there. But I said, don't worry, these are a bunch of pushover artists, and lo and behold, I was correct. They all have a terrible guilty conscience. About 6 of them came up to me and said, "Hey, we didn't take your team. That wasn't us. We didn't do that."
Oh man,
it was terrible.
That's terrible.
Awful. Art Modell in the Ring of Honor. Disgusting.
It is funny, by the way. Whenever I have a Ravens fan get excited and trying to trash talk, I just tell them they stole a football team, and therefore I don't shed a tear for the years they had without a football team. They kind of go, oh, I mean, yeah, no, we didn't. They immediately just drop their they drop all cockiness and start to feel guilty. It's great. It's one nice thing I like about that.
They're charlatans too. They have this whole. They have the little marching band that comes out. They say 68 years in a row the Ravens marching band. I said, how the fuck did that happen?
What the fuck? Yeah, like the Colts are in their Ring of Honor. The fuck is that shit? No, they aren't. That's just not your fucking team. It's Indianapolis' team.
See,
I got Johnny Unitas in there.
Yeah, he's up there.
Oh,
It's garbage.
I disagree on that one, though, because I feel bad for those.
I did until they stole our fucking team, Grant. Now
No,
they can fuck themselves. They have a football team now.
Yeah, but for the Hall of Famers that were on that team that usually get cushy jobs with the organization as they lose their minds,
Jesus.
can't walk anymore. Have you seen Johnny Unitas' arm? He can't raise it over his fucking head.
Jeez.
It's like John McCain. He's a disaster. But they usually get like a cushy front office job, and those guys just got left out in the cold. So I feel bad for those ex-players. And that's when they were painting houses in the summer, and then playing football and picking up odd jobs because they weren't making any money.
Yeah. Hey. Well, Granty, I very appreciate your going to the Lion's Den, which more the Kitten's Den, as you said. I liked your Walter Sobchak line of these men are cowards. That goes with Matt's theory about Golden State Warrior fans when he went to the Lions Den. Oh, Matty, you have a new tradition now, right? Of watching Browns games in other teams' bars.
Yeah, I don't like the Browns backers bar. It's just not a very good game watching experience.
Why?
It's a shitty dive bar that doesn't have like a good television setup. It's not a good.
It's a bad bar. It's a bad bar.
It's a bad bar for a sports bar for sure.
Okay.
How's it for drinking?
The drinking's okay, but not great either.
Ooh, Matty, you're getting a little. I mean,
hoity-toity.
Yeah, hoity-toity is the word I'm looking for. Yes, thank you, Grant. Thank God you're here.
Maybe. I mean, we like to be able to sit down during the games.
Oh, Jesus.
That's often a problem. It's just bad.
Didn't you almost get kicked out of my seats for standing the whole fucking game?
No, it's just standing on first and second down sometimes.
What are you, a Seattle Seahawk fan? Not Seattle Seahawks. Seattle Mariners who would stand up on every fucking pitch in the playoffs like idiots, not knowing when to actually stand up for an important moment. You just stand the whole time because you're drunk.
What are you defending the Browns security? I don't. Why are you doing this?
I'm still disappointed in your behavior in my seats.
All right. Well, anyways, now we go to the team that we're playing. We go to their bar, both as a way to see the city and experience other bars and to troll.
Nice. Good. Did you get any fights this weekend?
No, the Broncos fans were a bunch of pussies.
And
the Ravens fans were actually very nice and accommodating.
Yeah.
They're super nice.
Yeah, exactly.
That place had a real neighborhoody feel. Like everybody knew each other and were calling each other by name. And it seems like they hang out outside of the Sundays. It was weird.
That's what happens when your team wins consistently.
Yeah, I think
yeah, exactly.
There's nobody worse than Browns fans. The reason we went to that Ravens game is Elisa's cousin has season tickets to the Ravens.
Mm-hmm.
So we were, having some bullshit conversation over the summer. He said, "Hey, how about you guys come to Baltimore and watch the game? We'll come to Cleveland." I'm like, yeah, we'll do it. And then he bought tickets a week later. So, oh shit, we're really doing this. But they were super nice, and we tailgated with everybody. Everybody was great, giving us food, doing shots together. I was like, you guys can come to Cleveland, but it's not going to be like this. I mean, they're going to throw a bucket of piss at you if you watch the Ravens jersey.
But that again gets into the fact that they've had a lot of salad years and is that how the phrase goes? I think I've screwed that phrase up. Whatever. But there's a lot of bile built up in Cleveland. I mean, they stole our fucking team. I fucking hate Ravens fans. They might be wonderful human beings in real life, but in that setting, I just want to make them feel bad.
They're fine until they start defending Art Modell, and that's when I tell them to shut it down.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. He's a horrible fucking human being who deserves to rot in hell.
Terrible.
There's no bones about that.
Whoa, Patty.
I don't know if you guys listen to Tony Grossi's podcast ever.
I don't, actually. I should. I'm a cranky Browns fan.
He came on local radio, and he told the story about when the Browns left town to go to Baltimore. And he had to confirm the rumor and travel to Baltimore to cover the press conference where Modell announced that the team was moving.
Mm-hmm.
And, everybody was in shock, right? So Grossi's there, and someone just yells out, "What's the name of the team going to be?" And Modell just sort of snarls in the microphone. The Baltimore Browns.
Oh,
Ugh.
an asshole.
Detestable.
Mm. Mm.
On that note, Uncle Granty, we're gonna move on to the Cavs stuff because this is depressing me, and I'm just making. I'm very angry. Do you want to stick around and talk Cavs stuff, or do you need to head out?
I gotta go to bed.
All right, man.
Beauty sleep.
Uncle
Thank you,
Granty,
gentlemen. A pleasure.
this was a legendary appearance. Please continue to be a correspondent for Matty and Patty, and give our love to Auntie Elise.
Will do. Shalom, boys.
Thanks, buddy.
Oh, Matty, that was epic.
Pat, what's your Browns record update?
Oh yeah. Oh, Grant, you still there?
I think we lost him.
Did we lose him? Grant, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What's your record update? We need to get a record update before we let you go.
6 games, 6 wins.
He thinks 6 wins. 6 wins. Jesus, man.
You guys higher or lower?
Oh, lower. I will upgrade from 3 to 4.
I'm gonna stick at 3.
Matt, this is crazy. You were way more optimistic than me, yet you were the most pessimistic in terms of win outcomes. This makes no sense. There's no connection here logically.
No, I think they'll continue to sort of be in games and be exciting, but they'll lose.
What were your guys' original picks?
I had 6 wins originally. Matt had 5.
Oh, it's too soon to leave your original pick. 6 was my pick all along. I'm sticking with
Well,
it.
but I was expecting a different team than the team I saw in the first 3 games. I was really, really disheartened.
Does that Jets loss look as bad?
I was with you, by the way, Grant. I sang your praises too about your take on the Jets game. I felt like a lot of things didn't necessarily show what kind of team this is going to be. But I honestly think that Jets game showed more of what we are than didn't. Meaning, it had a lot of alarm bells, and a lot of those alarm bells have come true for me. But you may be right. What you're saying right now, we'll see in this next game, Grant. I think this is what we'll see in this next game. We have another good defense we're playing. But you against the St. Louis. But Grant, you were saying basically that the reason our running game hasn't been going, the offensive line hasn't really kind of showed itself, is because no one respected the pass. And maybe they'll respect the pass now. And I don't know. I feel like people are going to be like, Josh McCown? Yeah, go ahead, beat us with your 5'6" receivers.
I think we might see Manziel this game.
Really? Why?
Because McCown's going to get knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's probably going to happen. That's true.
I think that's very possible. Or maybe Austin Davis.
Let me remind you guys one more time. That's true. Austin Davis is an interesting call. He wasn't even suited up for this last game, despite the stuff. So I think it'll be Manziel. But a reminder, gentlemen, that Josh McCown is our age.
I know.
This makes me love him more, though.
He runs like it.
What's he doing? Yeah, he does. I mean, every achievement he has at our age just feels like an accomplishment for all men 36 years of age.
I mean, the guy's going for it. He's doing everything he possibly can.
I like him.
Josh McCown.
Yeah, I love it. Would you rather have Brian Hoyer?
No.
Yeah, no fucking way. Agreed. So that's something that Ray Farmer did right. All right, Grant, we'll let you go for real now.
All right.
Give that beautiful wife of yours a kiss for us.
You got it. 2 kisses.
A real wet, open mouth kiss, please.
Ew.
That's right.
That got a little weird. Bye, Uncle Granty.
Bye.
See you, buddy.
Alrighty, Matty. Let's move on to the Cavs.
Cavs time.
Important things like, what the fuck is going on with Mo Williams on Twitter? Can you explain this to me, Matty?
It seems like he's just learning about a lot of this stuff, doesn't it? By how he uses it.
Doesn't it feel like your dad discovering Twitter and just doing weird things? What's the thing where I want to connect to people and talk about things that relate to people, like body hair, like my body hair shavings.
Yep, that was weird.
He's oh god, I have so many people on Cavs Twitter I follow who are just really upset by Mo Williams on Twitter. So I wish I could remember. CS Aviate, I think is his name. He's the Cavs Twitter guy who apparently is obsessed with robots. I think he was saying something along the lines of like, I have my qualms about Mo Williams coming back to the Cavs. I've now come around to being like, he's a good guy to have on the team, but fuck his Twitter. This is why I don't want him on this team. He can't handle the weirdness of it.
It is super weird. He knows he can just not follow him, right?
Yeah, no, that's what people. I think a lot of people point that out to him, and frankly, I followed him because of this. Because this just
Me
makes,
too. I think he's a good follow.
Absolutely, it's so fun. The crazy. He also had this crazy video of him in the Cavs locker room somewhere, I think, wearing like full fur coat and crazy hat, like he's wearing a pimp outfit, while Sasha Khan's taking his pants off and he's like getting fucking naked behind him because he's Sasha Khan. I don't know what's going on. I'm just a gigantic human being with this was going on. Oh man. Oh, Matty, speaking of gigantic human beings, I have an exciting announcement to make.
Ooh, what is it?
I have a confirmed order for a Timofey Mozgov jersey.
Oh, that's excellent.
Gold to replace my Deion Waiters jersey because I love the gold jerseys the best. Really awesome. They're my favorites by far.
Cavs are the Cavs doing a black jersey this year?
I don't think so. I hadn't seen that at all. I only thing I'd seen was I think it's the exact same outfits as last year. Honestly, the blue and navy. Sorry, blue and navy. The blue and wine as the alternates. There, we do have a Christmas Day jersey, which is going to be fucking dope. I think it's like cream and maroon or something like that. It looks kind of good from what I've seen.
I really think they're doing a black jersey at some point. I'll do some research and
all right. I mean, I've heard rumors about the sleeve jersey. I don't know how I feel with the sleeve jersey, but whatever. All right, Matty, moving on to a more important topic here. Cavs Twitter is telling me, Matty, that Anderson Varejao is done. The way they talk about him is if he's just a bare step above Brendan Haywood status, like Perkins status. Just complete liability, done, nothing. Give me your thoughts first before I give you their evidence.
So I'm gonna have a hard time answering this without talking about the evidence.
All right, I'll get into the evidence then. So the big evidence is one, Achilles injury. Valid concern. But the other, hey Luna, Luna making an appearance. Exciting
podcast going on.
That's just control your dog, Matt.
Sorry, there's a dog outside.
The biggest piece of evidence that I've been seeing is Anderson Varejao's numbers. Pretty much all of his stats for the most part. From the beginning of last year until he got injured in December were horrible, right? Across the board. He let people shoot at the rim at 66% rate, which turns every person he guards into LeBron James or something like that. And he's not able to race out and chase on the show on the pick and roll. He's not able to show on the pick and roll and recover the way he used to. And so people, particularly one of my favorite Twitter followers, Cavs and Justin Rowan, it just rips on Varejao. They talk about him like he's less than worthless. Now, partly they're doing this because they're also huge TT fans, and people are. There are a lot of irrational people saying, "Oh, we don't need TT. We got Varejao." It's like, no. Let's be clear about this. Varejao's not TT at this stage in his career, and I don't think he ever could do what TT was doing. Although he had very similar kind of like attributes in terms of being harassing and all that stuff, and his athleticism and his size were kind of similar, but very different players. And certainly at this stage in his career, he's not going to replace him. But that's the big thing, Matt, is that we're supposed to believe that within 2 months of the first 2 months of this crazy ass team that was a total mess in the first 2 months of its existence, that those numbers, because apparently when TT was on the court, we did great. So therefore, we know that the numbers of Varejao mean that Varejao is a terrible person, a terrible player, and not the weird dynamics of the team. That's the argument. What's your take on those?
So, one, Andy is not going to be what he was before, right? I have no illusions about that. I think that's
Exactly.
wrong.
Yes.
He's gotten older.
Yeah.
Right? There's no two ways about that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we could win with him as our starting center. I don't think we could win with him as our starting power forward.
Great.
Fortunately, we don't need him to be either of those things.
Exactly.
And I think if you're looking for him to play 15 minutes a game, which is probably what we should anticipate him playing, in the right lineups with the right matchups, he's going to provide value.
Mm-hmm.
That jump shot of his is a real weapon now.
Yep.
I think that's totally true. He's a really good passer, I think. And a smart offensive player. I think he slots in really nicely there. He is a bit of a liability on defense, but I think as one of those articles pointed out, our whole team was just terrible on defense.
Completely terrible. I mean, there was no resistance in the perimeter, which meant that every guy that Veras was defending at the rim was flying unabated to the rim. Like, yeah, of course. I guess TT had decent numbers because typically he was guarding the guy out in the perimeter a little bit more because that was part of his game. And, like, that's part of why TT's so great. That's why we wanted to sign him back. But, like, Love's numbers were not great with guys flying towards the rim. I was like, you couldn't judge this because we were a tire fire on defense.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, there was some concern with who can Varejao play with in these lineups. With him and Love, you don't have a very good defense on the front court. I agree. So that's not a great lineup. Varejao and Mozgov means you have no athleticism on the perimeter. Kind of also true, but I don't know how much slower Varejao is than Love on the perimeter.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think they're kind of interchangeable, although obviously Love is the better player to have, but just meaning Varejao can be a pretty decent replacement. Varejao can actually space the floor now, which is crazy. And he's very skilled as a roll man in the way that Love is not so skilled as a roll man. Which is surprising. One of the reviews I've seen is that Love's stats of being the roll man for the Cavs last year was atrocious.
Yeah.
And that includes pick and pops. Just when he was.
I think that'll get better this year, though.
I sort of feel like too, but at the same time, we also need to find a way to get Love involved with getting the whole getting the ball on the elbow where he can pass and facilitate, especially get the ball out of LeBron's hands. Like to have Love facilitating to LeBron, I like that. That. Instead, it was most of the stuff I saw was LeBron giving the ball to Love, to the hoop, and that's great too. But LeBron's the better finisher than Love, so let's find a way to get that happening.
I agree, and I suspect that's on LeBron to be comfortable with it.
Yeah, it seems like that. One of the things they talked about, and we'll see more of that this year, and we'll talk more about that in our preview probably next week. I just think we are taking a really small sample size in a pretty unusual situation with a completely different team. Right, completely different roster, and casting. He's washed up, and it's distressingly uniform across Cavs Twitter, which is why I insist that I'm going to be completely insufferable to everyone I follow on Twitter if Varejao starts out well this year. That being said, though, I mean, is Varejao enough to keep us from feeling the pain without TT if he continues this holdout into the regular season?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think if you're starting to ask him to play 25 minutes a game, and we can't pick and choose our matchups as well as we'd like, then he could get exposed.
Yeah.
We need TT back, man.
So, here's the latest TT news, right? Larry Kuhn, who I sort of vaguely remember his name, but I didn't really know who he was until I read this article. He's this, the salary cap expert, and he speculated on a podcast that the way these things work, he thinks it must mean that the Cavs have rescinded their 5 years for $80 million offer, just based upon how the logic of these things work. However, there was a report. I've already forgotten from who, but a couple of different back avenues suggesting that no, in fact, the Cavs have definitely not rescinded the 5-year, $80 million offer. It's still on the table.
Oh, really?
Tristan can take it whenever he wants. Yes, this is a new development that happened this morning. I'll see if I can pull it up here while we talk about it, but.
I sort of feel like
what are your thoughts
should
on
have
this?
pulled that offer.
Tell me why.
Because we're in the middle of a nasty negotiation, man. You got to And we have a lot of. I think we have more leverage right now.
Mm-hmm. Except, don't you?
We're banking on the season starting and us being terrible and really needing TT, which is not beyond question.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that's totally possible, and that we panic, and everybody thinks Gilbert's going to be the one to panic. I don't think he will. I mean, I think we should all be of the mindset of the regular season doesn't matter. We just need to get into the playoffs, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So there's no reason to panic if 10 games into the year we're 3-7, and that would be pretty bad. Although we have a tough start to our schedule.
That's true.
So I don't think that's impossible for that to happen, but we cannot. Tristan's going to sit out this whole year just to go right back into the same situation again, and just because there'll be more teams that could offer him something. I mean, that would work, but losing.
But that's the point. Is the money he's losing this year is what, $16 million, right?
Yeah.
He's getting $16 million. How much more is he going to have to make up the $16 million he lost? He can't do it.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't see this. I don't see this holdout lasting beyond 2015. I think a Varejao style timing is Varejao signed in December after the Cavs were struggling for a bit, and the Cavs got a better deal.
Yeah, but there was another team involved though.
Yeah, that's true. But the point being that Varejao caved. Varejao settled for a deal less than I think what the Cavs initially offered. That's what I remember reading.
I don't think that's right. I think it was above what the Cavs offered, but below what he wanted.
All right, fair enough, but like significantly below. It was indistinguishably different from what the Cavs were offering. Basically, my understanding is that Varejao did not win out in that contract, but I mean he won because he got a little bit more money. But it wasn't what he was going for, not even close to it. So I see something similar happening with TT, where it's not going to be significantly different from 580, but he's going to sign it sometime in December. There is another theory out there from Justin Rowan. He tweeted this the other day. His guess is there's a chance TT signs before the season begins, so he doesn't miss his game streak.
Oh yeah,
he doesn't have a game streak. He hasn't missed a single game his entire career, and he'll miss that if he holds out. It'll be broken. That's something. That's something. That's a motivator. Although then again, I thought that playing for Team Canada would be a motivator, and he skipped Team Canada. So. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how much he's. Is he just the agents are in control right now?
Yeah, I don't know.
Was that Mary Kay Cabot that wrote a sort of a nasty piece about him? Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
It was like I don't know what's wrong with Tristan. I'll have to find it and send it to you.
Oh, jeez. I mean, let's be clear about something. I mean, Tristan's doing what he's got to do to get paid. Like I mean. I have no patience for takes about Tristan Thompson being an idiot and asshole. How about this? You said the 538 report. Our resident anti-Cavs fan, Scooter, sent this around. 538, which is Nate Silver's brainiac website of statisticians, came up with this algorithm, which demonstrably proved that Tristan Thompson is worth $7.1 million a year, no more. The dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Yeah, I read it.
What'd you think?
I mean, I appreciate the point they're making, but you're worth what somebody's willing to pay you.
Yeah, it's not tied to reality whatsoever. It's also not tied to salary caps. I mean,
yeah.
If Tristan Thompson worth $7.1 million, then the entire league is overpaying for players, which means you're not paying attention to market values. Like, that's not how markets work. That's not how prices work.
Right.
Like, just fucking grow up. It was just a dumb article. And speaking of which, I looked this up. It's Chris Haynes at Cleveland.com who is reporting that Cleveland's offer is still in the ballpark of 5 years for $80 million, give or take. Huh. The Cavs did not withdraw the offer once the qualifying offer deadline passed. So. And to be clear, Larry Kuhns did not have an actual report on this. He was just saying the basic on the logic of this, they would have pulled it. But,
yeah, he was speculating.
Logic goes out the window when LeBron is, involved with the agent and all that stuff. So, Matty, let me ask you this. If Tristan doesn't come back at all this year, how do the Cavs do?
Well, one, I don't think they sit on their hands. I think they go out and get a player to replace him. I'm not saying that player would be equal to him, but they still have the trade exception from Brennan Haywood.
Right.
And they'd probably dip into whatever the next draft pick they can trade, which I think is 2018.
Mm-hmm.
A first-round pick. So I think they'd go get some. I mean, they know they can't. They're not in fuck around time, right? Like they have a window open right now.
Yep.
That they have to take advantage of. So I think they'll go get somebody. I don't have speculation right now as to who that person could be, and it would probably change during the year as teams' fortunes, differed from what they thought was going to happen going into the year.
Right.
So depending on who that player is, I think they could be okay. They need somebody to do what Tristan does. But he was valued at $7.1 million by 538 for a reason. The skills he has are not impossible to find other places.
It's the thing that, but watching him in the playoffs, though, there's a reason why I hesitated to buy my Mozgov jersey. I kind of wanted to get a Tristan jersey.
Yeah. Oh, I get it.
They didn't have one in my size, which is petite.
Ooh.
They didn't have it in petite size, so I had to go with my petite Mozgov jersey.
Oh my god.
It's sad. I was going over a medium, and I double checked my DM Waiters jersey, which actually fits me. I looked at that, and I was like, oh fuck, it's a small. God damn it.
Oh, Pat.
I thought it was a medium, not a small.
That's embarrassing.
It's yeah. It is what it is, Matty. Matty, are you concerned about LeBron getting shot in the back?
No.
I love that. LeBron was shot in the back.
Not at all. I love how they're handling LeBron and the players generally this preseason. I mean, very clearly they need to cut preseason games from the calendar, right?
Hey, Matty, we won a preseason game.
Yeah.
Hey.
Super exciting.
That's exciting. And I didn't get a chance to see how Kevin Love played, but you did get a chance to see the night before. Love had a nice steal with a behind-the-back pass to Mo Williams for three. It was nice.
Yep. I can tell you, Pat, that Kevin Love played 22 minutes. He was 4-11 from the field, 2 of 5 from three-point range, 4 rebounds, an assist, a steal, a turnover, a foul, 10 points, -1 plus minus.
Not bad. Whatever.
Nothing terribly interesting from the box score.
Mm-hmm.
Quinn Cook didn't play. That was a little interesting.
Interesting.
I don't know
You might be done.
Precisely what that means.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who's going to make the team at the end of the bench.
Yeah, I have no idea. We should look up when the roster cuts are finalized. I
think it's got to be the end of this week, right?
Yeah, what's what I'm saying. Is it going to be before we do our season preview?
Yeah, I think it will be.
Okay, so something to talk about.
Patty, can I ask you a Kevin Love question?
Always.
How do you feel about what he's doing with his hair right now?
Oh, the Frodo Baggins haircut?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. He's doing a lot of the 1980s, like cut off my sleeves and use it as a headband thing. It's.
I think he's actually wearing a headband in games.
What?
I don't mean a headband like LeBron or Mo Williams wears, but like
the shirt sleeve headband,
like Sasha Vujacic would wear.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a look. I mean, look. Anything that distracts my wife from her serious attraction to Kevin Love, I guess, is a good thing.
He's too young for her. I've told you a million times.
Yeah, but she just gets ideas. It's not good. It's not a good thing. Although it's good for her interest in the Cavs, but she's already interested in the Cavs. She's already into the Cavs, even before Kevin Love. It was one of those annoying moments where we were watching that first game of the year with against the Knicks last year, and we're watching. I'm excited about LeBron and stuff like that, and she goes, "Oh, who's that?" I was like, God damn it, Becca, just you could be just into the Cavs. You don't have to get super into the one like really handsome guy on the Cavs. I mean, look, I guess if it gets you into the Cavs, but
the one really handsome guy, Tristan Thompson's got something to say to that, Patty.
That's true. It's a fair. You know, I had as a proposal on Twitter this week. Have the Cavs thought about this? Offering Tristan Thompson 5 years, $80 million, and Dan Gilbert pays for all of his outfits?
Yeah, I saw that.
No limits. I mean,
he's pretty into fashion.
Come on. I mean, he loves that shit. You know, it probably won't add up enough to be on the tax bill, but it would be a pretty nice fucking perk, right? To be like, dude, I want this. I'm not going to. It doesn't cut into my salary. Dan Gilbert's got this.
I think you have to account for that.
Oh, yeah, but my point is, it doesn't add up. It's like a psychological thing. You know what I mean?
That's true, but I mean, it would count towards the salary cap.
Yeah, but he's going to spend $1 million on clothes? I don't think so.
He might.
He spent like a couple $100,000, but like that probably would work within this stuff. But I guess, you know, you won't be able to control how much. So
you'd have to have some rules.
Yeah. I like to know limit.
I like your outside the box thinking though, Pat.
They got to work on the perks. They got to work on the perks here. They got to find. You know what? Dan Gilbert's got to pull his strings, get him on the cover of GQ. That's what got to be guaranteed. Hey, I'll get you on GQ. I'll get you on any of the major mag. I'll get you those covers. I get some billionaire friends. I can get you that kind of.
Do you think he has that pull?
What's that? Yeah, he's fucking friends with Warren Buffett, dude.
LeBron's friends with Warren Buffett.
Exactly, but also Dan Gilbert got himself roped into a Warren Buffett appearance on the Late Night Show with Seth Meyers. Dan Gilbert is not a
Oh, that's right.
Draw.
Stupid.
Yeah, some weird like bet thing or not bet thing, but like some kind of.
No, as if you picked the perfect bracket.
That's right. That's right. So that just. They got to think out of the box. That's my thoughts. I don't know. I kind of like the Frodo Baggins thing because it kind of plays into the Lord of the Rings kind of quest of this year.
Did you see that commercial?
Oh God, I haven't seen it yet, but I saw photos from it. It looks good.
Oh, I liked it. I mean, it was fucking ridiculous, but it was. I enjoyed it.
Ooh, Matty, what'd you think of the Star Wars trailer? Did you watch the Star Wars trailer tonight? I
did.
Thoughts?
I didn't like it as much as some people did.
Thoughts as a noted Star Wars hater?
I like the earlier preview better, I think.
Yeah,
I did like that we got to see a little of the bad guy.
Yeah, I've seen more of the bad guy. I didn't like the music. It was very J.J. Abrams.
Yes. Yeah, I didn't like the music.
It was very un-Star Warsian.
What's the deal with the bad guy?
I don't know. I guess he's carrying on Darth Vader's legacy. That's an early speculation that was borne out by that initial shot in the first trailer of the warped Darth Vader mask.
And he says it in this one.
Yeah, exactly. He carries it out. It's also weird to me they haven't showing any Luke Skywalker at all.
That one hand on R2-D2, right?
Yeah, they showed that again the second time.
I saw Carrie Fisher in this one.
Carrie Fisher's in this one. A lot of Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
And Chewbacca, which, tugs in the heartstrings. Love seeing the Black Jedi.
Maybe something crazy's going on with Luke Skywalker.
Maybe he's the bad guy?
No, not that he's a bad guy, but that something, like he's got his face is all jacked up or something.
Yeah, no, I think they're playing him as the Obi-Wan, but there must be some kind of surprise they're trying to conceal.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but not his face configuration. Like his face has already been fucked up by the car accident between the episode 4 and 5.
So it's Adam Driver's the bad guy, right?
Right. And
we're not going to see his face. He's going to be behind that mask the whole time.
Yeah, there'll be some reveal, I'm sure. Actually, I don't know. Maybe there won't be.
And what about?
Seems like a waste of Adam Driver's weird ass face to not show it.
What about Lupita Nyong'o and what's her name from Game of Thrones, Gwendolyn Christie? I haven't seen them in the previews.
Who's Gwendolyn Christie again? Who's she playing in Game of Thrones?
Brienne of Tarth.
Oh, yeah, no, I haven't seen her. I mean, it's weird because Lupita Nyong'o, we've only seen her in her CGI stuff.
Oh, she's a CGI character.
We won't recognize her. So maybe we've seen her already. We don't know.
That's right.
there was speculation that Leia was going to be like an evil Jedi in this, which is obviously not happening.
That did
not happen. No, Han and Leia seemed like they were pretty close together. That seems all is right with that world, so to speak.
And that's their kid, is the main character, the woman?
It's not entirely clear, actually.
But somebody's a Skywalker, right?
Yes, I think Donald Gleason, excuse me, I always pronounce his name wrong.
Oh, he's in it too. We haven't seen him at all.
Haven't seen him at all, and he almost certainly is Luke Skywalker's son. It's not been confirmed, but to show my nerd cred here, Luke Skywalker in the future story marries somebody named Mara Jade, who's red-haired. So it would make sense that this red-haired guy is Luke Skywalker's son.
Whoa, Pat.
Yep.
Pat, did you read the new novel?
No, I haven't read any novels since the original Timothy Zahn trilogy.
Why wouldn't you read the new novel? It's supposed to reset the whole universe.
I'll watch the movie, and then maybe I'll go back to the book if the movie justifies believing again.
So, Pat, do you think you will believe again after watching the movie?
I don't know. I've been so disappointed before. The first couple of previews really got me psyched. This one, I think you're right. I enjoyed it, but I really, really disliked the tone, the music. It was very un-Star Wars. I mean, look, the second preview was my favorite one, I think.
Yes.
Which was the long pan across the desert. That's also very un-Star Wars, right? In terms of like, well, not entirely. The opening shot of Star Wars was this long pan, right?
Yes.
But it was this long pan with silence, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this narrative voiceover is that's not how Star Wars kind of is told and works. So, but still, I still got the chills because it was just really cool and well done. So I'm open to Star Wars being done differently and working because, whatever, George Lucas already ruined it, so it needs to be reinvented.
Rob, did you say you'll take Arthur to see it?
Yes, not for my first screening. I'm gonna watch it myself because I don't want to have to deal with Arthur in the middle of my first Star Wars movie in like 10 years.
What's he gonna do?
What do you mean during my first screening?
No. I understand. Like I understand what you're saying, but what are you worried about him doing during it? Like having to go to the bathroom or something?
Yeah, complaining, talking, saying
complaining.
Oh yeah, he'll complain. 4-year-olds complain about fucking anything at any time. They can be total dicks.
He can't sit through Star Wars without complaining?
Yes.
Oh, geez. The kids today.
It's terrible. But like, I would have much more patience for it if I've seen it before.
Oh, for sure.
Then I sit with them, and then it's like, oh yeah, we'll get this, we'll come back, and I'll talk them through it because I like to talk them through stuff. But the big thing coming up, Matty, the big thing is Thanksgiving. I'm coming home to Cleveland for Thanksgiving. So, anyways, in Cleveland, yeah. I am going to show him Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi for the first time.
Oh, that's right.
He doesn't really know who Luke Skywalker's father is. He has an idea. We'll see. He has an idea. I mean, before he was old enough to really understand more than 10 words, I used to read him Darth Vader and Son, this fantastic children's book which depicts Darth Vader raising his son Luke Skywalker. It's fantastic. But then eventually he started to understand too much, so I stopped reading it to him. And I tried to hide the book. Actually, I eventually gave it away to a friend of mine. And then somebody else literally bought the book and sent it to me in the mail saying, "Pat, I saw this book. It's perfect for you." I was like, God damn it. I was trying to get rid of this book. So I stuck that thing in my underwear drawer to hide from him. But no, so my whole goal is to really give him, now that he can understand kind of plots and understand storylines, I want to reveal Darth Vader as Luke Skywalker's father and just to capture that moment on video.
Sure.
He
knows a lot.
He knows a lot, but it's fun. It's fun how well Lucasfilms has been about not being clear about who dying the connection between Luke and Anakin. You think, oh, this great good guy from the Clone Wars, the cartoons. That's what mostly the kids are watching. This good guy Anakin is Luke's father. That's awesome. So it kind of fits with the storyline of 4, 5, and 6.
Right.
So it's sort of cemented a little bit. I don't think he fully gets it. But then saying again, a bunch of kids will tell him all the time that Darth Vader is Luke's father. So for all I know, that's sunk in, and he already knows. But from what he says, he doesn't know. We'll see.
That's exciting, Patty.
That's very exciting. So, Matty, we'll see what our friend Rob thinks about that little last bit. Rob has been pushing us to do a little more pop culture discussions.
Well, let's see how it goes over with the people, and maybe
let's see how we'll feel about this Star Wars rant. I'm sure some will not like it, but we'll see. I'm excited.
It was a good one, Patty.
Hey, I say that does. I think I said that does it for the Cleveland Sports Hour. You? Yes?
Yeah. I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we're good. The Browns have St. Louis next week, as we talked about. Jesus Christ, it's going to be. I mean, like their offense sucks, so that's good. But on the other side, on the other hand, our defense sucks. So another toss-up. But more importantly, next week, Cavs season begins, and we will have a big Cavs preview, which will probably lead off the podcast. So whatever happens in the Browns game, it'll have to be something epic for the Browns to beat out the Cavs season preview next week.
Agreed.
So yeah, that does it for us. Until next time, this is Matty and Patty saying, Ship.
Oh, all right.
Nailed it, Matty. Nice
Good work,
work,
buddy.
All right, see you next week.
Talk to you.